called in
to Box and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash and tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the brews.
And they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
And brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, we're getting on a regular schedule again.
Good for us. Well, I'm going
It
on
is.
vacation in a couple weeks, so that'll end it.
Well, the good news is we're doing 2 tonight.
We are.
So people on Twitch get a little surprise here. They get like 4 some odd hours of us. And then well, everybody else, yeah. It gives us episodes for the next couple weeks.
I'm going to split.
I was gonna do the no drinking in January thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a rough weekend again. That shit's out the fucking window. So tonight for episode number 1, I have a beer that it's not one of my favorites, but it's okay. It's from Black Rocks. It's Grand Rabbits, which it was rabbits today because you dropped it and kicked it across the fucking room. And when I'm done with that, I got a Blake's Triple Jam.
There we go.
So
For this episode, I have Big Wave. So I'm sponsored by the man in the corner here, Mr. Mike, and I have a Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing out of Hawaii.
how is that?
Liquid Aloha. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. You'll have to let me know because
Yeah.
we
so-
got another one of those at the house.
And then my other one sponsored by Mike as well is from Rogue Brewing, a Raspberry Tartland. It's a sour ale brewed with raspberries, and of course a Bud Light seltzer sponsored by you because it happened to be laying around. And my Christmas gift that you guys don't see on screen is a 24 pack of
Various beers.
beer advent calendars
Yes.
that I will randomly just go pick whatever the hell I want at some point. So
Next episode, I'm sponsored by Mike, but I'll save those for the next episode.
oh, that's really good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
All right. Mike, I know what you're drinking, but why don't you tell us?
Now for one particular reason, I'm sticking with what's been my tried and true the last couple of months, but it is just City of Portage tap water and having some popsicles.
Good man.
Anybody that joins us on Twitch or when you watch us back on YouTube, if Mike runs away, it's for a stated purpose that we will not state here.
Say really excited for this episode. We're gonna be talking some pallet liquidations. I put it out there on Facebook, had a couple questions for some people, but really excited to have Jordan here with us. I bought a couple things from him, and so thanks so much for joining us. Tell us who you are, what you do, and we'll get rolling.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm drinking Coca-Cola.
Good man.
Usually I'd have some Elijah Craig for it, but haven't stashed my my desk yet with anything just because we just moved in last week, so to our new space. But my name is Jordan Trumpie. I own a business called Charlie's Treasures. So we do pallet flipping. There's 2 kinds of pallet flipping. Really, there's the people that sell the pallets, and there's the people that buy the pallets and sell the stuff on the pallets. So lots of money to be made either way. But for now, my company really just buys the pallets, sometimes by the truckload individual. And then we just tear it down. I've got a team of employees that we kind of look through everything. We inspect everything. And then just recently, we actually started not just selling on Facebook and eBay, but we have an online auction as well. That's a local auction. Everything starts at $5. If you've ever heard of Mad Cheetah or RepoCast, things like that, very similar online. It's a 24-hour auction. You come on, you look at all the stuff, bid on what you want. And then the auction ends Friday nights at 8 p.m. You can pick up whenever within the 2 weeks. So that's been our main source of income. And yeah, we just moved into our new space here in Granville, well, technically Granville, but it'll say Wyoming on your maps. And yeah, so we're kind of putting everything on shelves this past week, and the first auction in our new space starts tomorrow. So really excited for that.
Yeah, say that's congrats on. So I guess you said that you have a new space. So could you walk us through, I guess, how you got started in this and kind of where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone always says your phones kind of listen to you, when you're talking, and then you start to see those advertisements that are like, huh, that's weird. I was just talking about that. So my wife got pregnant just a couple of years ago, and with our first, her name's Charlie, hence Charlie's Treasures. And I was working a couple different jobs. I was working at my church because I have a degree in music, so I was doing music at my church, and then trying to make money other ways. And I just got to thinking, I was like, man, how are we going to provide for a kid? We're still pretty young. I'm only 20. I think I'm 25 now. Only 25. Pretty fresh out of college, and we're starting to have a kid, and starting to grow our family. How am I going to make money and really provide? So I just started looking at flipping stuff. People are telling me, I go on Facebook and I buy a bike, I fix it up and I flip it. And, that got me excited. And I thought, I can flip stuff. I'm handy. I can go buy broken stuff and then, sell it to someone else for a little bit more. So as I was looking into that, something popped up, a pallet place that no longer exists, but it was called the Liquidation Castle. And they were advertising these massive pallets that are 8 feet tall, and they're sitting on a pallet and they're stacked, and stuff is pouring out of the top, and they were selling them for $1,000 each, and I got really excited. So it was just after things were getting a little easier with COVID. You can start you can go to McDonald's now without freaking out, and I said, I'm gonna go check this place out. So they opened up, and I went in, and I didn't have a whole lot of money. But my older brother, who has a big boy job, so he makes some good cash, he said, I'll fork you some money to buy a pallet. And I hadn't told him how much a pallet was, so I don't want to freak him out, So I just said, why don't you give me a couple $100? I can maybe figure out the rest. And he goes, how about I'll just give you $1,000 and you can do with that what you will. So I was like, oh, perfect. So I bought my first pallet, $1,000. They had smaller ones too that were cheaper, but the $1,000, they're called monsters. That was the good stuff. And I was pretty young, so I didn't realize I was overpaying. That's actually a lot for a pallet. But I went and I bought my first pallet. Didn't take long to sell everything. Got some really nice stuff, and I made about $600. So I thought, man, that's pretty good. $600. It was pretty easy. I just take my pickup truck. I went to pick up the pallet. I Jimmy rigged it, strapped it down. It was only 5 minutes down the road, so I drove slow as it teetered in the wind, in the back of my truck.
Sure.
They said don't drive under any bridges or anything like that. Got home and sold everything within a couple weeks, and it was the easiest $600 I ever made. So that got me hooked. So it really was just my phone sort of listening to me and showing me this place on Facebook, and I jumped on their page and I was hooked after that. I bought for them for about 3 months until somebody told me, hey, you're paying double price for pallets. Maybe try this other spot, and started going there, and it's just been history from there. So yeah, it's good money. It's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I was dumb enough to join Grandpa's Pallet Liquidation. They're,
And you want to buy everything now?
well, and they're just their Facebook page is just so busy, and people jump on things, and hey, we got stuff in, and it's sold out. And I was like, dude, I got here 23 minutes ago, and it's just crazy. Yeah. So,
you snooze, you lose.
So okay, now, you're selling 600, and now, how many pallets were you? So you bought one pallet at a time. Did you go buy another pallet or 2 pallets at that point? Like, what'd you do?
Yeah, so my budget really was, I was going to take that 1,000 and just keep putting it back. So when I made the 1,000, went to go get another pallet.
Well, did you pay your brother back that 1,000?
Not yet. He said he didn't charge me interest. He just said, use it until you don't need it anymore, then give it back, which was really kind of him. Yeah. So I basically, anytime once I made that 1,000 back, I'd still have some inventory in the basement, in the garage or wherever I was storing it. That was just pure profit. I go and throw that next 1,000 at the next pallet. And, I was spending $1,000 per pallet. And I think the first one was great. If I remember, the second one was just okay. I made like $200. The third one, I think I lost 75 cents. I think that was like
It's not bad.
Almost made my 1,000, but after all the work to list the stuff and meet with people, and it just wasn't worth it. And I was getting pretty discouraged after that. I ended up actually after that, when I said, you know what, I'm going to go all out. I borrowed another 1,000 from somebody else, and then I had the 1,000 profit that I've already made, and I bought 3 pallets, $3,000 worth. I was so excited. I took it all home. I filled my garage. Literally, it was like waist deep with boxes, sometimes more. Filled the whole garage, And I went through the first pallet, and literally as I was listing stuff, things were selling, and I made all my money back before I even got through the pallet. Not all of it, not the 3,000, but
Oh, okay. I was like,
thousands
man,
of
that's a
that
big
pallet.
pallet.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
It's happened. So I got through that $1,000 and I was like, oh man, if each one of these pallets is gonna be like that, like we're making some serious money. Then I got to the second pallet and everything was broken. It's not an exaggeration. Every box was broken, $1,000 down the drain. And then the third box, I think I lost just a little bit of money, maybe a couple $100. But the first pallet still thankfully paid for almost all of it. So I just about broke even. I think I lost a little bit of money. And that's sort of the point where somebody reached out and they said, hey, you've been shopping at this liquidation castle place. How's that going? And I went, I don't know, it's okay. And he's like, well, you can get pallets for like $550 and they're way better. And I said, no, you can't. $1,000 is a good price. That's what they kept telling me.
Right.
They were like, we're just trying to break even. We're just trying to give you great deals, kind of a thing. We're not trying to kill it.
Yeah.
And I realize now, like they were making more money than they should have, and that's why they went out of business. It's how it goes. And so he goes, go check this place out. It's called Pallet Plaza. They were up in Rockford at the time. They're in Grand Rapids now.
Yep.
I drove up there and he was like, he was texting me while I was driving. He's like, you there yet? You there yet? You there yet? He goes, what pallet did you pick? And these were like leftovers, like people, stuff that people hadn't bought yet. They'd been sitting for a few days. I grabbed a leftovers pallet. Everything was in great condition. I think only a couple things were busted. Lots of stuff was brand new. I made my money back quick and I made a profit pretty quick. And that's really what set me off into turning this business into what it is now. So, yeah, it was rough at first. $1,000 was a lot of money to borrow. I ended up paying it back within a year. Same with the other person I lent the money to. So I was debt free at that point, and I just got to use my own money to keep buying pallets. So 3 was like that was a big number for me. 3 pallets. Now I buy them by the truckload. So
you do buy them. Okay, so so now you live near my mom. You're 7 houses, which is hilarious to me. So like I'm driving by and I'm like, it's funny because you see the people with like bunches of stuff outside, and he had towers and stuff, and I'm like, damn, this dude is selling some shit. Like, and here, like I'm the most I'm so used to just handing cash or whatever and I'm just like, I don't know how to, like, oh hey, and he's like, look, you scan this, you do this, that, and I'm like, great, here's money, here's product. That's how I do this. So now you have employees, you just got a store, and you're buying by the truckload.
Yep.
Okay. So and you don't know how it's going because literally you're just getting into your first building, I guess. But
yeah, it's going great so far.
Are you guys selling right now then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so still on Facebook. So we have about 3,000 square feet. So we set 1,000 square feet is my office, our listing area. So there were actually cubicles here. I had to take a bunch of them apart before we could move in.
Yep.
I cut 3 of them, and they have power and everything. So it's a nice little spot to list stuff and to inspect all the items. So I got 4 employees now that can sit at a cubicle, list their item, go put it on a shelf, So that space is for cubicles, my office, all our Facebook stuff and eBay, and then all the on deck stuff, the stuff we haven't gone through yet. So that's a third of my space. Another third is all auction space. So that's all the stuff that goes in our auction, we put on those shelves, and that takes up a lot of space. That's our main source of income now. And then the third room is all the little stuff that is tough to sell, or people don't want to spend the $5, so maybe it's a dollar, or it's just not worth spending the fees because the auction has you got to pay sales tax, you got to pay the buyer's premium. So somebody doesn't want to pay that much, we just put it in that room. So 1,000 square feet is going to be our $5 room. If you come to pick something up, you can go peruse around. You got $10 in your pocket, you can buy 2 things out the door, no tax. I take care of that. Pretty nice just for a little bit of retail space, and also gives us our space for all the other stuff that we're listing. So in general, our main chunk of where we're at is auction space, and the rest we just kind of use for a little extra income here and there.
Okay.
So is there any talk of turning into an actual storefront?
Yeah. So my wife's a little more hesitant than I am. mostly because, and I'm sure we'll talk about this as we go. Some pallets work really good. Some pallet programs work really good for some people and don't work at all for others. So people like me, I love the Amazon pallets. I like Home Depot. I like big stuff with big money, especially Amazon. You can find gaming computers. You can find, MacBooks. You can find really expensive, big ticket lottery winning type items.
Really?
Oh yeah. This last one I found not the last one, a couple months ago, I found a gaming PC, and that pays for the pallet and then another pallet just with that one item.
Mm-hmm.
So I love Amazon just because it's a bit more of a gamble, but really the only gamble is how much money you're going to make. It's not really, are you going to make your money back? Because you always do if you know what you're doing. So for me, the $5 shelf is stocked with stuff like stuff from Target, stuff from Walmart. It's all overstocked. Most of it's going to be brand new, but it's a lot of little stuff, stuff that's, $3 to $15. That doesn't go well in my auction because if somebody's going to buy something for $10, they're just going to go to the store and buy it for $10. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I put it in that little retail space, and someday more of a storefront once we upgrade or move out of that space, and just leave that for auction stuff, or leave this. I'm here right now. Then we'll move into a storefront. But as my wife keeps reminding me, the little stuff has not made us money in the past. It's the big stuff, the Amazon.
Yep.
That's what makes us money. So I think this is going to take off. Everybody loves stuff that's, $5 below. Everyone loves $5 stuff.
Oh.
And you can find things on those shelves that's $100. I just don't want to sell it. That's
I mean, I spent stupid money this past weekend because I'm now a member of 50 freaking Pallet because everybody on Facebook for some reason their wives are doing this thing because it's everybody hears that they're quitting their job and increasing their income. And my friend's like, oh, I'm gonna go buy another pallet, so I'm getting rid of all this stuff. Look out for the prices. And there was a safe on there which I thought was gonna be 6 inches deep and a foot wide, and come to find out, I mean, this thing is, a foot and a half wide. It's a real safe thing. And I was like, crap. And I thought the light was going to be 2 foot wide, and a nice, like, where you could set a beer on it type thing. I get there and it's like 6 inches wide and it's just like a thing. And I was like, but I paid $5 for each of those things. I got a grinder, something. And I was just like, I just spent $20 and she did $5, $5 each item. If you spend over 20 on the whole thing, you get a $5 item for free. And I was like, shit, here I am spending, I spent $20. Really. It's all sitting in my car still, literally. I haven't taken it out. But now, okay, so you're buying. I mean, let's talk about pallets, I guess. You mentioned the word monster because I'm getting into it a little bit. Can you tell me about these? Like, what sizes are there? And what do they mean?
Yeah, so monster can mean a lot of things. It depends on where you're shopping. If you ask any seasoned pallet buyer, a monster is a specific program of pallets that has really great stuff. Monsters are the best, but they're the most expensive. They're stacked the highest. They're always loaded with really good stuff, but you can get different types of monsters from different people. So one guy might sell you a monster that's full of boxes that are just empty space. They're full of pillows, or they're one box has a tiny little play katana in it, but that took up, this massive chunk of space on your pallet that could have been better stuff. But, now you're looking at just one little katana for a giant box. So there are different types of monsters depending on where you go. And sometimes that just takes shopping around, finding the right people, asking the right questions. But in general, if anybody says I bought an Amazon monster, they bought a pallet that's 8 to 10 feet tall, typically closer to the 8 feet. A lot of pallet places will say, oh, they're somewhere 10 feet tall. Well, yeah, because it's got a curtain rod sticking out, and it gets to that 10 feet.
Sure.
But they're going to be the 8 to 10 feet tall pallets that are stacked and clear wrapped. Okay, so there's black wrap you can get that look like monsters, but they're wrapped with a black type of wrap, so you can't see anything on it. Those aren't technically monsters, but they do look like them because they're as big. So it's an 8 to 10 foot pallet that's stacked. You got your 3.5 foot by 4 foot pallet. It's going to be stacked to the corners with stuff. So that's a monster.
And then they're smaller than that, and What are those
There's
normally?
lots of programs. There's a lot of people that sell pallets, that build the pallets and sell them.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, all over the country. So, I mean, in general, there's, I want to say there's 3 distribution centers for Amazon, if we're just talking Amazon. So all this stuff goes there. And then they've got these guys kind of that they contract. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but they build these pallets and they sell them as a program. So they'll build different pallets based on what they know that people are going to buy. So some people don't want to spend the 9 to 12 grand on a monster load. So maybe they'll spend 6 grand on what they call Amazon mediums or Amazon Gaylords. So an Amazon medium usually is like a 4 to 6 foot pallet that's clear wrapped. An Amazon Gaylord are typically, they get those giant Gaylord boxes that are 4 feet high and they just fill it with stuff and they don't wrap those. It's an easier way to package. So they typically sell it a little cheaper. I've found pretty good luck with those. Not as much as the monsters. I stick with what I like and what's safe for me. But if you only got, $300 to $400, a Gaylord's a really great choice as well. But yeah, you can buy, I've seen like Lowe's pallets. They pack those things with whatever they can. You'll see a riding lawnmower just covered in like, space heaters, and then they just wrap it as best as they can.
Yeah.
But yeah, tons of different types of pallets you can buy. You just got to find what works best for you. Some people like the case pack. That's Target. It's all brand new, but it's all multiples. Usually it's overstocked. Sometimes it's out of season. And most time people will make their own pallets when they buy a truckload, because one pallet's going to be all one thing. So you might get all Barbie dolls on one pallet and then all flat screen TVs on the other pallet. So these places will build those pallets up with one box, from each pallet to so everyone kind of gets a fair deal.
Sure.
Those are great for some people. Lots of little stuff, which isn't great for me, but for people with a retail store, people that just want to stock the shelves, like that's a great deal to get those at a great price. And then you can stock your shelves and make a lot of money that way. So yeah,
So
really what you like.
You mentioned, so it's 9 to 12,000, I think you said, for monsters for a full trailer.
Typically, if you're talking to someone who's legit, yeah. There's the low end monsters. This is how I like to think of it. There's pretty much 2 types of loads. Well, there's 3 types of loads you can get. There's one that's the scam load, that the guy takes your money and then you never see your pallets, or he takes your money and then he sends you a truckload of junk. Which happens. People build those kind of pallets and they just try and get rid of them for cheap. So
Sure.
In general, if you do buy truckloads, don't buy a cheap one. If someone's like, oh, we're just trying to get rid of it. No, you're not. There's a lot of people that would buy truckloads in the United States. There's no truckload that they can't get rid of. It's because it's junk.
Right.
So if you're buying closer to the $9,000 mark, that's before shipping. So it's probably going to be closer to 10.5. But around that $9,000 mark, you're going to look at lower quality monsters just because you're paying less. But oftentimes you're still going to find those. I shouldn't say oftentimes. Pretty much every truckload has a lottery winner. So you'll find a pallet that has that gaming PC, or that is I've seen people that get boxes that it's just stacked full with like iPhones or electronics, brand new stuff like that. You just never know with Amazon.
Sure.
A lot of it is overstock. But those are going to be the cheaper. A lot of times you'll get, half the pallets are great. The other half of the pallets are just okay. When you get close to that $12,000 mark, usually it's after shipping, it's around 12 to 13. That's where you get really, really great stuff. Those are the ones I stick with. You spend a little extra money and your profit margin just flies up. So yeah.
And 12,000. So that's, right. It's a 53 foot trailer.
Yeah, you get 24 to 26 pallets, depending on how they stuff it.
Yep. And so you're paying, you went from paying $1,000 a pallet, now you're down to 500 a pallet basically.
Yeah, just about.
And you're getting bigger. Okay, so when you buy in bulk, you save a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's liquidation. Yep.
So this may put you on the spot, but I'm going to ask it anyways. So when you started originally, because I love numbers.
Oh yeah.
What percentage was good? What percentage was bad?
Oh, of like the pallets that I bought.
Yeah. So you're paying $1,000 a pallet. How 50% was good, 80% was good. What are we looking at?
I was buying from the wrong person. So
absolutely, and that's why I want to hear the percentages on the wrong people.
It's but I mean it was good because it helped me learn, who to trust, and they even told me where they bought their pallets. So now I don't buy my pallets from that guy. But I would say about 30% of my pallets were great. The rest of them were either okay or trash. And there was a lot of trash. So
Sure.
I was still working 2 or 3 jobs. My wife was full time. That was thankfully at the time just kind of extra money, but it still takes up so much time when you got to take runs to the dump because you got all this trash in your trailer. And, you got to go through everything and test everything. And then you get something that you're like, oh, this could be worth some money, but I got to fix it first. Then you spend 2 hours fixing it. And 30-ish%, I would say it was pretty rough.
And what are you getting now that you think, I guess that's good now that you've learned?
100%. I mean,
everything's good. Well,
I would say so. Yeah. So first of all, when I buy singles, when I just buy the pallets, if I need the inventory and my truck's running behind, I'll go buy from, people like Grand Rapids Pallet Liquidations, Pallet Plaza. Pallet Plaza is my main one, but he's been out for a little while just on vacation, but he's back now. He just ordered his first truckload. He'll be back every other week. So with new truckloads, but if I need the extra inventory, I'll go to them and buy 1 or 2 at a time. And I know what I'm looking for. I've bought enough pallets where I know what the program is, first of all. So if I look at their pallet, I can say, yep, I know where this came from. I know kind of what it's going to have. And even if it's a bad program, I know what the good pallets look like on the bad program. So and sometimes what they'll do is they'll stack, they'll put really good looking stuff on the outside. We call it a lot of color. You see a lot of color. You'll see stuff like, a bike or an electric scooter or something. You see that in a nice colorful box. They put all those on the outside to make them look good, and then they stuff the middle with junk. So I can kind of see that now. I know what that looks like. So I really haven't had a bad pallet in a long time. But really, I mean, when I buy by the truckload, or even if I buy half truckload, like it all evens out, right? I don't try and itemize it per pallet. I look at it as the truckload and I say, yep, that was a great truck, because they all are, if you're buying the right stuff.
Sure. And are they shipping it directly to you, or are they still going to?
I've got a warehouse that I use.
Oh, you do? Okay. And then you have to have your own high-low?
Yeah. I mean, I borrow it, but I can use it whenever. So
sure. So you pull all the stuff forward and get it off the truck that way? Okay. Mm-hmm. How long does the driver give you to take your stuff off?
I mean, it doesn't take long when I've got a team doing it. There's usually not a time frame. I mean, you can tell when they're getting antsy, but yeah, maybe a half hour, I would say, we can get everything unloaded. So
they pre-plan it for the actual time of drop off and all that, so you guys are ready for it.
Yeah, somewhat. A lot of times they just show up out of the blue, which is a little annoying because they'll give you a 2-ish week. That it's about going to be 2 weeks till your truck comes in. I just had one that took 3 months to come in because of the holidays. We ended up canceling it. But yeah, a lot of times they'll just show up and say, hey, I'm here. Where are you? And then you got to drive over there. But
sure.
Yeah, it depends on who you're going through. Their communication's not their strong suit most of the time. So they're usually, it's a long drive. So they like to sit around. They're fine.
So I'm going to ask this now, and feel free to tell me to piss off. So what's your return on investment? Where did that start? Where is it going to?
Yeah. So, I would say each pallet, I budget for each pallet doubling its money. So if I spend 12 grand, I'm going to see 24 by the time I'm done selling everything. Now that's probably pretty generous, especially now that we'll have the $5 shelf. But that'll help with a little bit of that income. We do throw a lot of stuff away, a lot of stuff that's broken, or we donate. Like a lot of blankets are tough to sell. Pillows are tough to sell. Those little trinkets are tough to sell. A lot of times we just donate. So that might turn into a little more than 50%, or not 50%, then double now that we have a little more income. But yeah, I would say a good pallet should get you double what you paid for it. So if you think about it, my first pallet I got was $1,000. Should have been $600, maybe $650. And I got, at the end of the day, it was, I think, $1,550. So in reality, that pallet tripled itself almost. So that was a really good pallet. But most pallets, on average, I would say I should be seeing a double in my money. So yeah, it just goes right back into the business. Now my wife actually, she just recently quit her job, so she's full time with Charlie, which is a great timing because she's hitting her terrible twos and she is just grumpy all the time. So good time to have mom at home.
There you go.
Yeah, really. She hates it, but it's great for me, I shouldn't say that. I love you, honey.
Say,
Really great work. So all the money really goes to keeping us alive. We got a house, we got cars, we got payments, stuff like that, groceries and all that. The rest of it just goes right back into the business. That's how we're here, moving into this space. Most people that do pallets, they don't last because they don't want to put the work in or they don't want to take that leap of faith. I think it was Mitch over at Grand Rapids Pallet Liquidations. First time I met him, I said, how'd you get into this space? And he goes, you know what? We just took a leap of faith. I was doing what you were doing. And we said, let's just get a warehouse and let's start selling pallets. And I said, you know what? I like that. We're going to take that leap of faith. And now here we are in our own.
I can't call it lazy. I'm at the point of, I don't think I want to spend the time to unload it. Like I see all these sucker ones is what I call them because it gets me interested. But like you see the whole entire skid of like Milwaukee tools that are all returns. And I was like, never once seen that like in all the photos of all these groups, except for like this person that's random. And I'm like, if that ever comes around, hell yeah, I'll buy that pallet. But
Hell yeah.
right. But like I don't want to do the individual. So then we were talking and I was like, I'm gonna buy a warehouse and just buy the truckloads and then start selling them off. And as long as I make my money back, or as long as I pay off the building, because I think of long-term wealth, pay off the building, I'm fine with this. So
right.
I was like, how do I start finding a truck to start filling this space and just have people come by? And it seems like everybody has a hard time. You're saying about 2 weeks out. Can you, if you had $100,000, could you buy 10 trailers and have them constantly come 5 days a week?
The best thing you do is they call it a lane. So you get a contract for a lane. So you get a spot in a lane, you get first priority. That's why it takes so long if you just order a one truckload, because they have to prioritize their customers, the people that are paying every week or every month. And then you kind of get the leftovers. I shouldn't say leftovers. They're still good.
Sure.
But you're on the low priority list. So if you open a lane, if you contact one of these distributors on one of these companies, which is getting that information is the tough part because no one wants to give it out. You find one of those distributors through a broker service or anything like that. Then you're able to just basically sign a contract that says, I'm going to pay you such and such every month. Lock me in for a year, and then you'll get those truckloads every 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm going to ask this because, the three of us, we own businesses and I already know the answer to this question. So Jordan, you work like 2 hours a day and the rest of it's just golden, right?
Well, I'll tell you, last week I did the shortest day last week, and we're including Saturday. Well, maybe not. I worked a little less Saturday. My shortest day last week was 12 hours. So
12
if that
hours
puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
But that's just because I moved in my new space. I had
Yeah.
to clean it out. I had to move stuff in. So yeah, 14's pretty much every day is what I was doing. Before I moved into this space, oh man, it was awful. Just because I was renting out my brother's double stall garage. I was using my garage, my basement. I had trash everywhere that I had to constantly pick up. I was on the road probably 60% of my day, just doing errands and cleaning stuff and cleaning after my employees and all this kind of stuff. So my days can be pretty long. But thankfully with this space, hopefully I can start building a routine and cut that 14 to, more like 8 or 9. Hopefully we'll see. But yeah,
Right.
owning a small business is no easy work. That's for sure.
Let's see.
Well, there are a lot of people out there that, our business is open 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. You get 3 days off. No,
That's 3 days in a day.
yeah, you're still working your ass off literally every day. And Nick knows it because even when he's on vacation, he's trying to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what, we were talking about right before we got on. It's fun. Some of the things I do are fun, right? Like I went to investor meetups Monday night last night, but my meetup Monday night was 5 o'clock and I got home just shy of midnight, right?
Yeah.
Last night I was out in Muskegon. I started at 1 o'clock talking to, we were mentoring a young 17-year-old kid who had questions about how to get into real estate, and then finished that one he stayed for like 2.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Went to the next one, which again, I got home at about midnight last night from Muskegon, and I'm like, man, and then we're coming here to do a double episode, and I'm like, man, I am tired, right? Like, and plus I have a 7-year-old, so having kids it's tough.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. Mine's out of the house.
Right.
She does her own damn thing.
Lucky.
Let's say. So you're buying one trailer every 2 weeks, basically, is what you're doing?
Not currently. So I don't quite have the capacity for that as far as workload. I've got some really great employees. They're all part-time right now.
Sure.
Hoping to hire some full-time soon. I've got some people interested. I just need to know, what my profit's going to look like now that I'm in this new space. So I would say I'm trying for one a month. And that pretty much, I mean, that's a lot, that for one person, and just a few part-timers. So that works out pretty good for me, one a month. I still make some good money. I mean, that could potentially, be 10 to 15 grand a month just from flipping pallets. So
Sure. I don't know many people that complain about 100 grand a year.
No.
So,
I mean, yeah.
and then, so, I mean, I think you kind of hinted toward it. I just want to, so are you, now the people that are building the pallets are the shady people, or the people that are buying the pallets and then they rebuild them to shitty pallets? And like, does that question make sense?
Yeah, there's both. And so there are some distributors that will, I would say there's definitely more bad brokers than there are bad distributors. I've had tons of people reach out to me, and you can tell they're real fake real quick, because on their Facebook page, they've got these pallets full of Apple products, and they've got these Photoshop pallets that are, like you said, all Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And they reach out and they're like, hey, I've got a truckload. It's only $2,000 and it'll ship out tomorrow. You want it? It's all brand new tools. And, you just, at a certain point, you stop messing with them and you just delete them.
Right.
But definitely the brokers usually are the ones that will, it's either, and I have a theory that it's people that sell pallets that will look at all the best ones, and they'll sell those ones or break those ones down, and they'll take their junk ones, build pallets with those, and sell those by the truckload to kind of liquidate their extra stuff. I think that happens more than some of these reputable brokers actually getting them from the distribution centers. So a lot of times it is people buying these truckloads, keeping the good stuff for themselves, and selling the junk. They buy 2 truckloads, half of it's junk. They sell all the junk, they keep the 2 halves that are really good. So that's what you got to look out for. That's why information is key in this game, is knowing who do you trust, who are the people that are selling the good truckloads. And it really takes a Facebook search. You can find these broker Facebook pages where people are posting all the time, and you'll know when someone's shady when you look in the comments and everyone's like, don't buy from this guy, he sucks. And then you see the guys that are posting every day, and people are within seconds are sold.
Yeah.
We want to trust. So it really is easy to get that info. It's just people don't take the time to dig for it,
Well, that's, and it's one thing that I've never been to Grand Rapids Pallet. I don't know them personally. You might. Not trying to talk bad. I'm just saying, like, I went on their Facebook and they're selling megas or whatever and minis, and then all of a sudden they're selling their own pallets. They're like, hey, we're selling these items, and I was like, are you just nitpicking stuff? Like, are you cherry picking what you want and then selling off, crap pallet? I don't want to go buy a pallet if you reach in and see that and it's worth the most money. Do you find that people have to either sell pallets or break them down like you do, or can they actually do both?
Both businesses are infinitely scalable. You just got to know what the workload is. So it really is, it's less work, but more investment if you want to jump into the pallet flipping, because you got to get a warehouse, you got to get a high-low, you have to have somebody there at all times. You got to hire people, you got to have the pallet racking or the shelves, or just the space and the capacity, and the know-how and the marketing mindset. Whereas if you're doing something like me, Facebook Marketplace is so easy to get into. You can go buy pallets, right? Anybody can do it. Go buy pallets right now. And you can do it for as cheap as you want, or like me, start buying by the truckload and do it as expensive as you want. But both businesses are infinitely scalable. I would say the selling by the pallet is definitely harder to get into, because especially if you jump right into it, you might not know who to buy from. You might buy truckloads that are junk. The first people that I was buying from at Liquidation Castle, I just remember they had bought one load, and I got really close with them, and we're still good friends. I mean, they just their business was not great, but they bought one truckload. I want to say they said they spent 16 grand, which first of all is a red flag.
Sure.
But there are some truckloads that cost that much that are like tools, and we call them manifested loads. You can get them up to, I've seen them for $35,000, where everything is laid out. They say, here's all the stuff you're getting on the pallet. They put the retail price, they put how much you're getting of each thing. It's all new, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not out of the question to buy these $16,000 loads, but when he told me, he bought it from somebody he's never heard of before, and they promised it would all be brand new tools, I thought, I don't know about that. In that case, 16 grand sounds a little cheap if you're getting those beautiful Milwaukee pallets,
Right.
So he got it in and he showed me, he didn't sell any of it. He brought me, he goes, Jordan, you got to check this out. So I came in and they had these, I've never seen boxes this big. They were on like these double pallet crates, huge boxes, just full of little stuff from like hardware stores. So it was like boxes of nails, those like spikes you put on your fence so the birds don't perch there. There was like baby lotion. It was just all junk. No tools. I mean, maybe like a broken hedge trimmer here and there, but almost no tools. And then they tried to contact the people, because a lot of times with these reputable places, you get a contact person, you can reach out and be like, hey man, this load really sucked. Can I either get a credit for my next load, or can we talk about, swapping some of these pallets out? They usually will work with you. These people didn't message him back. He knew the address of where they were, so he tried to get his lawyers out there or whatever, and they kind of just disappeared off the map, and they wouldn't help him at all. So he could have tried to sue and saw what happened, but in reality, that's what you get when you're buying pallets, is you wire money to somebody and you just hope your truck comes in.
Right.
A lot of times that's just how it works. There's no like receipt. There's no, I paid with a credit card, so I can just tell my credit card company to cancel it. He paid the 16 grand up front and he got junk. So yeah, some stuff like that is really scary. But I forget, I didn't even remember what your question was. I was just excited to tell my story.
No, that's great. But like somebody like, do you find that it would be suspicious if they were selling pallets and they were selling individual items?
Yeah. So I say it really depends on the person. There are places that are a little sketchier, and this first guy, the Liquidation Castle, did this too, and I didn't find out till later, is he would get the pallets in, he would see some of them were bad and some of them were good. He'd tear down the bad ones and kind of he'd tear down the good ones and add the good boxes to the bad pallets to make them look better.
Sure.
So really, I mean, it's really easy to see that, because you should be able to see the plastic wrap nice and tight at the top of each pallet. If that plastic wrap is dangling anywhere, or if it's loose, or if it looks like they added a layer, pretty quick they were messing with that pallet. That you just stay away from it, because that's a guy you can't trust. You got to be able to trust the person you're buying from. So yeah, I mean, if your pallet, you can tell pretty easily if you're looking for it that your pallet's been tampered with. But places like Grand Rapids Pallet, he's pretty upfront with that. Like, he'll tell you, I built this, kind of a thing. This is a pallet I built. Here's what's on it. A lot of the times it's either because a pallet like fell over and it just busted up, and so they had to kind of build their own little pallets, or they had so much inventory and not enough people like me who like paying $600 for a pallet. Some people only have a couple $100 to spend, so they tear down a bigger one and make it into thirds, and then you can spend only $250 on a pallet. So it really depends on the person. The whole game is relationships. You build relationships with the people you're buying from. Them. The Sean is the guy that owns Pallet Plaza. We're good buddies now. He doesn't necessarily give me special treatment as far as like I can go in early and look at the pallets or anything like that. But like, I know that when I'm getting a good pallet, I'm getting a good pallet. And if I get a bad pallet, I can say, hey, Sean, this pallet really sucked. And he'll be like, hey, I'll give you $100 towards your next one, kind of a thing.
Sure.
Those are the kind of people you want to stick with,
Yeah. Well, and I don't, again, I I go back to this grandpa's pallet just because like their Facebook is blowing up. I mean, their Facebook, I mean, it's people, and I'm loving the community aspect of it because
Yeah.
people be like, oh, hey, I got these ride-on cars. I thought we are going to sell like crazy and they haven't gone. Why? And then somebody's like, well, I mean, it was just Christmas. People bought their kids those things and nobody has a big enough house to ride them inside. So you might have to hold it till spring. And I was like, it's a great thing. Another person was like, hey, I have a bunch of Christmas candy. They got CVS stuff. And they're like, what do I do with it? And they're like, throw it up. People love candy. And, you know, like, and so it's just, but you see people helping people and figuring out how to sell things. And really like it's, their Facebook page to me is so crazy because it's, hey, we're getting pallets. Hey, we have random stuff to sell. And also it's like a forum, right? All in one. I mean, this thing just, it's going insane. Now let's say I want to, because I know a little bit, I bought from your first auction. I like everybody else kind of forgot about your second auction because right, I got an okay deal. Actually, I got a deal that I then all of a sudden so I bought I don't even know how big the fucking blow up projector is for my pool area.
Screen, yeah,
whatever it is, right? But like I paid, 50 something bucks after my taxes and fees and stuff. And then I literally like within that same week, I think 8 other people had that same fucking screen and like for like 40 bucks. And I'm like, damn, I could have just not had to auction. I would have not had to sit here and make sure I bought the damn thing. Like I could have just got the damn thing. Like I didn't do any research because again, I thought it was like a $250 thing or whatever. I kind of been looking for one and I was like, I'm still happy with what I bought. Granted, it's still sitting. Nope, I actually took that out because I had to get the safe and all that. I was like, it's still sitting in my car, but it's not. It's sitting in my garage.
So you're saying movie night this summer?
Yeah. Well, and like the weird thing is like I don't know Jordan, but I trust him. Like he answers Facebook. He does things. And he said, hey, test it and it works. And I haven't tested it. I couldn't tell you if it works, right? But like the weird thing is I know where he lives. So right, like if it doesn't work in the summer, I'd be like, hey man, I think we got some things to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Nick, I think he's got another one on his website right now.
I do.
Say, right. This
And
I happen to be stalking your website a little bit
Yes.
early on in the discussion. I'm like, I might have to just follow you a little bit.
And it's weird because like
look
I mean,
for
of course
some stuff.
if I'm gonna like it, other people are gonna like it as well. But
And
like
the funny part is the 2 things that I recently bought through Amazon were an air fryer and a food processor.
No.
And I saw those and I'm like, crap, I could have probably got a whole lot better deal.
Oh yeah.
Have you used them yet, Mike?
I mean, I haven't used them, but they're out of the box.
Oh, then you're
So
fucked.
we're halfway there. But so I look at things and I think what you say is getting with reputable people. That's a big thing to do because I assume when you're because I've only done one. There's a place on Plainfield. They just get in stuff and they throw them into these
Bins.
crates, right? It's a bin shopping. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
You go pay $7 on Fridays and that's when they
And
fill
it
their
just
bins.
keeps dropping.
And then it goes to $1 on Mondays or whatever, or on Thursdays. And so like I did it once and ended up with a couple random things, but I mean people, you can get some good deals, you just gotta go shop for it.
Yeah.
I really am upset I missed week number 2 of the, if it would have been every week, it would have been different, but like I think you went every 2 weeks. But then
No, I was every week. I think
Was
you
it?
just missed it.
yeah, he had like pellet guns and stuff, and they sold for like $12. And I was like, son of a bitch, dude, I would have bought all of these.
Yep.
Right. But
Now,
it's
I do have a big question, a little question just about in your website in general. It's kind of I think I saw like it was basically about 3 items currently on your auction or something like that.
Oh, yeah, 80 to 90 ish.
Okay, I just saw. I think it was just 2 pages as I was scrolling through. Maybe I just didn't scroll through far enough. And like, is that like 1 pallet's worth on average, or is that a mix of different pallets? Because you've, like you said, your employees are pulling from it and figuring out what needs to go in the $5 room, and probably even to your extent, like maybe there's things that are just more interesting in different seasons. Like when you store something for 6 months thinking this will sell well in August, September, when people are starting to look at Christmas presents for their family members.
Yeah, so a typical auction, and we're still pretty new to the auction. We're we've been kind of half and half with Facebook and the auction, but we're really diving in now that we're in this new space. A typical auction will have about 3-ish pallets worth of stuff. And that's only because, you know, a pallet might have adult diapers on it. I'm not putting that in the auction. You know, it might have like a medical shower bench or a wheelchair or bike tires. You know, it's a lot of stuff that I find other ways to sell it. And then I try and just put the good stuff in the auction. Like the pellet guns and the air fryers and the food processors. So,
I do you, this is a weird, do you sell the adult diapers?
Yeah, you know, it's a funny story. Pretty much every pallet you buy, you're lucky if you don't get adult diapers. So there's a lot of them. My grandma, actually, she lives in Lansing. She doesn't need them. I should preface with that. But she buys them because there's like a diaper donation facility down there.
Wyoming has one too, and that's what it only bothers me, because it's like, man, most people aren't going to buy these things. And I was like, if people would just sell them to me for like $1 or $2, right? Because like, you're not planning to make, I would assume you're not making money. And it's like, I would go donate them all to the family center right in Wyoming off of 44th Street. I was like, I just don't know how to contact people and be like, hey, you have a shower chair that, I mean, you're not going to sell it. Like, yes, I'm showing interest only because I want to donate it to these people who my wife goes and borrows, gives it to people that actually need it for her job. And I'm like, I don't know how to like contact people, and because I don't ever beg for things, but I'm like, I could put this to use. You could maybe get a tax credit if you do enough of it. But
I mean, I'd be interested in, like I said, in some cases, like just checking out their $5 room and just being like, for the same basic reason, would there be stuff that would be like, yeah, you know, I'll bring $100 and buy, you know, 20 different things, and like exactly what he's saying, you know, donate it to, you know, a local, you know, battered women's shelter or something of that nature that they might need. And
absolutely, we do a lot of donating at Charlie.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Good. No, that's great. I mean, and we love to hear that. I'm so sorry. Now, I guess before I'm going to get to the fun part, I guess, of what I want to know. What's the best item? You kind of, maybe it's the gaming computer. What's the best item you found? 2 ways. One that's made you like really happy to see it and like it's cool, and then one that's made you the most money.
Man, I'll tell you, one of my favorite items I ever got was, and it was, unfortunately, it was on one of those $1,000 pallets, so it would have been even better if it was a $500 pallet. But right in the middle of the pallet, because the whole pallet just kind of, it looked okay. It was like a decent pallet. Then right smack dab in the middle was a big old box, and it was brand new. It was some sort of toilet, and typically toilets are porcelain. You know, they're broken on the pallets. You just end up throwing them away. But it was like a plastic toilet, and it looked like maybe you take it camping or something. And then I thought, oh, I've seen one of these before. They're usually pretty cheap, you know, $100 or whatever. Well, I look it up on Amazon, and this is like a professional composting toilet that can hold your shit for 2 weeks.
Oh, we lost his
We
volume.
lost you, Jordan. We lost your voice.
Yep.
And you froze.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. You back?
You couldn't hear me?
We had that at compost. You can compost it for 2 weeks, and then I seen your face look really excited. So let's do the excited face again.
So it was a composting toilet, and it was worth $1,000.
Wow.
For a toilet, like what?
Yeah.
So I put it up on Facebook for $700, and the next day, actually, I think it was within a couple hours, somebody said, I want it, just market pending, I'm coming to get it. So the next day he came over, and he looked at it for 2 seconds, and he says, I'll take it. I don't even want to bargain with you. You can't find these things anymore. Like they take 6 weeks to get to you, kind of a thing. He goes, I want it. He's putting it on a sailboat, because I guess his toilet broke down and they were going on a big trip. And so that was really exciting for me it was still pretty new. It was like, man, I just made $700 on one item in one night. Now, if the pallet was priced right, that would have paid for the pallet and then some in a day. You know, how exciting is that? So that was probably my favorite item, just because it was so cool and I was still new to it, and making a $700 sale is just so good. Probably my biggest sale, it's kind of boring. It was like this piece of home audio equipment. I think it was worth like $1,700, something like that. And it was broken, but I texted or emailed the manufacturer and they said it's free to repair it. So I sent it in, they repaired it for free because I didn't even have to tell them who I was. They were like, yep, just send it. And then I think that sold pretty quick for like $1,300. So that felt really good just because, you kind of, once you do it for a while, you kind of proportion how small of a box to how much money you can get. That's exciting for us because then you got more space for more boxes in the pallet and you make more profit. So that was really great. But yeah, I've had a lot of big ticket items in the past that have sold for a lot of money. Right now I've got, and I'm trying to figure out how to sell it. I got a $980 pellet gun. It's a 50 caliber pellet gun.
Oh,
so you can't sell it anywhere. I mean, I could
Right.
put it on auction, but it's going to go for $100 and I don't, I want 500 out of it, if not more.
Right.
But it has a picture of a dead bison on the front when you look it up. So like, these things are legit. It's CO2. It's awesome. But yeah, you get a lot of stuff like that. That's like, oh, this is great. That's hard to sell. And then you get those little electronics that are really expensive that you sell right away, which you really, really hope for, a lot of those. So
Sure.
I've had some exciting stuff and I've had some not so exciting stuff that make me a lot of money. So,
Right. Well, the same. And, my thing, you never know what people are looking for. Right. Because what I have interest in, my wife doesn't care. And what she has interest in, I don't care. Right. So, I'm looking for an old door right now, which sounds really stupid. And so I posted and
I saw that.
everybody's like telling me the same exact place 10 times, which annoys the crap out of me. And all my friends don't
Did
really.
you try the discount store on Leonard?
Pitch? Yes.
Did you try Habitat?
Yes, all of them. And then, but like my one buddy, he's like, check Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, that's a stupid I was like, but I typed it in and I found one in Ohio. I'm like, crap, I'm not going to Ohio to get this door. But like, I was gonna even think about that, right? Who would sell a fucking door? An old door on Facebook. But it just kind of brought me back to
potentially.
That's exactly it. It brought me back to like remembering just because I don't want it doesn't mean there's not a buyer for it, right?
Even people like not even for like the purpose of putting it in their house. I mean, there are artists and stuff that'll buy doors and stuff like that and use it as a way to like, make something artistic.
Yeah, we had my neighbor and I were drinking during COVID, and he had a six panel window, and he's like, oh man, some woman's gonna buy this for decoration. He goes, women love 6-panel windows. And so we sat there, we put it up for like $20 or something. I am interested. Hey, I can come get it right now. And within like 15 minutes, we had this thing sold. We're just sitting in the driveway, and it's just like you sold a stupid window that's just chilling in your garage.
Well, you never know what people are looking for. So we go to the distribution center for Goodwill to buy electronics for people to break room therapy.
Oh, Prairie?
Up on Prairie.
Yeah, I'm right around the corner from there. So
there you go. And there's a group of Latino men who go in there, and if they see my wife, because they're always looking up whatever electronics they find to see if they can sell them for much more than what they're buying them for. So if they see my wife there and they pick up something that is worthless to them, they just walk over and hand it to her. I'm like, I said one day, I'm like, what the fuck is that? She goes, we have an understanding. If they pick up the electronics before I do and they're not worth a damn thing, they're gonna give it to me. That way I can buy it and people can break it.
Yeah. Does she give it back if it's actually worth something? Does she?
Yeah, if she has something that's really worth something that they want, she'll give it to them.
Oh, there you go. So that's good. I mean,
it works both ways. She got 7 Wii Fit boards yesterday. I got to tell you, that's one of the greatest things to break because they're hard as hell to break.
I'll just step on it.
And it's funny is at this point, probably nobody uses a Wii anymore.
No,
not really.
No.
It's all on the Switches and if you're still in a Nintendo or the
I tell you, we get those Wii Fit boards,
whatever.
it's like fucking gold to me.
That's it, right? So my next question is, if I want to start out, what should I look for? What are the things to look for? You kind of mentioned if it's got stretch wrap, let's stretch it out. Don't buy that pallet. But like, because let's just say, I mean, really, like if I could find a Milwaukee tool for a pallet price, dude, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. But like, what should I look for if I want to start in this game?
Buy an Amazon pallet if you're going to start. Amazon is the easiest to get into. It's the easiest to understand. You're going to find broken stuff. Everybody does. You just got to know don't expect it, so you're not bummed out when you get it. You're going to get medical stuff that you can't sell on Facebook. Just expect it. But you're going to make some money. Amazon is the safest way to go. I tell people, anybody can sell the stuff. If you have a computer, you can use even just a phone. I mean, you don't need a computer. Use eBay, use Facebook, use Poshmark, stuff like that. Anybody can do Amazon. Stuff to stay away from, and I just say stay away from this in general, like never buy this stuff, is Lowe's pallets. Lowe's pallets is almost all broken stuff. It's so much stuff that's just returned and busted. But then again, Lowe's pallets are where you get those tools and the Milwaukees, and usually when you
Lowe's
see
doesn't sell Milwaukee, Home Depot does. Just to be clear.
Okay, yeah.
Say just to be clear.
So Home Depot, you can find those too, but I'm thinking DeWalt. So DeWalt,
Sure.
you'll find on these Lowe's pallets.
Yeah.
And I know somebody who there was a truckload of pallets and there was a couple Lowe's, and I just bought them because I was trying to help the guy out who was selling the pallets, and he needed to get rid of them, so he gave me a good price, and I was like, whatever, I'll go through trash. And one of those pallets, right at the bottom, the whole bottom layer was all DeWalt tools. They nicely stacked them in there, and he made a bunch of money. It was like, I want to say it was like $4,600 worth of tools, and the pallet was $300.
Wow.
So these Lowe's pallets, I mean, you can get a whole truckload of Lowe's pallets for like $6,000, maybe, I mean, $4,000 to $6,000. They're so cheap. It's ridiculous.
But
I think
stay away because it's a full truckload, which means it's shit.
right. It's going to be junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that you can't make your money with Lowe's. It's that there's so much broken shit that you just it takes so long to go through it all. Then you got to pay dump fees, or you stash your dumpster for the next 6 weeks while everything sits in your shed.
Yep.
It's so much work to go through all that. I personally say it's not worth it.
Okay.
But I don't think I've lost a whole lot of money on Lowe's. I typically do make money, but it's just so much work, and it will kill your spirit. I mean, when I buy Lowe's, I always get excited because it's Lowe's. Lowe's has great stuff. I love Lowe's. I shop there all the time, probably there once a week. But it will really, really kill your spirit. It kills your motivation. You're working 50% of your day just throwing stuff away or trying to fix stuff too, because you'll get like a nice $500 fire pit that the gas lines are all busted. You got to go in there and fix all the gas lines. And so I start off, get an Amazon pallet. If you really, I mean, don't be afraid to spend the extra money on a monster. Buy one. You make sure the plastic wrap is nicely wrapped, and buy from someone who you can trust. So do your research first. Don't do like what I did and just go to the first place that popped up on Facebook.
Sure.
Scroll through these pages. Go through. I mean, I can tell you right now, Pallet Plaza, Grand Rapids Pallet Liquidators. If you want to travel up to Stanton, he's got great prices. His name's Mike. He runs NC Liquidation. He's got great prices.
What about the people in Sparta there?
There's people in Sparta. I don't even know their name. What is it? I think it's not Alpine Extreme, but they just moved to Sparta, didn't they?
Yeah, I say, and then they had stuff, and then they're basically seasonal from what I see, because they always put all their pallets outside.
Because they've got, if I remember correct, if I'm thinking of the right place, they've got a place here in Grand Rapids that closes down seasonally. Then they go up there to Sparta and they do stuff there too. I don't know why. I haven't been there before. I'm pretty sure it's Loan and Liquidation Station.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, Loan and Liquidation Station. They do a lot of everything. So they're the kind that has kind of half, you can go buy pallets, and then half is they've got a liquidation store where you can just buy stuff.
Sure.
Never bought from them. I've heard good things. They're pretty big now. They've got a pretty big following. So, I mean, I would trust them personally, but that's because I know what I'm looking for.
Sure.
In general, guys like Mike up in Stanton, if you say, hey, this is my first time, I don't know what I'm doing. He owns the place. He'll be like, here's what you need to know. He'll walk you around. He'll say, this pallet is a good pallet. This pallet, probably not. He'll tell you straight up which bad ones. Same with like Sean in Rockford. He's in Rockford, right across the street actually from Loan and Liquidation. And then he has a place on 32nd here in Grand Rapids. If you walked in, he'll be open in a couple weeks once he's done with the vacation. But you walk in, you say, hey, Sean, Jordan told me about you, and I saw you on Facebook. what do I do? What do I buy? He'll be like, well, let me tell you, I'll find you a safe pallet that you're not going to lose money on. And typically, if you do lose money on it, he'll say, come on back. I'll help you out. You know, we'll throw in a pallet or whatever. I think Mike one time, he bought a new truckload and it was so bad. And he didn't realize how bad it was going to be. It was one of those where everything on the outside looked great. Everything on the inside was junk. And he straight up told everybody, he said, I'm getting a new truckload coming in. If you bought one of those pallets, for every pallet you bought, I'm giving you a free pallet. And he just gave out pallets. He lost money. He gave out pallets because he didn't want to sell junk.
That's a guy. That's a guy I want to do business with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, seriously.
What's his company?
It's called NC Liquidation. You can find
thank you.
NC Liquidation Stanton is their Facebook page, but he's if you do your research, he's probably the biggest in Michigan.
Okay.
But he's one of those, he's kind of a redneck, and he's not much of a people person, not much of a businessman kind of thing. So that's why his prices are so cheap, because he doesn't make a lot of money on each pallet, but he flips so many pallets. Sure. I think at one point I heard him say, if he just makes $40 a pallet, he'll be fine. So that's his kind of mantra. He just wants to survive. He likes what he's doing. He's not there to really, really kill it. But Stanton's a long drive, you know, if you want to, unless you're bringing a big trailer, it's not always worth it to spend the $100 in gas just to get one pallet on the back of your truck. You know?
Sure. No, that's great advice. Now I say there's Walmart. I mean, I've seen Walmart. I've seen, we talked about Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon. So Amazon, they have like cartons, and then they have like individual black bag packages. I think they're just called black bags. I want to talk about that. And then Rite Aid, I think, is the other one that I've been seeing quite a bit of.
There's what is it? The little dollar store, Dollar General does one. I don't know if maybe Rite Aid does. There's one called BCP. I know pretty much. I say this as humbly as I can. I think I know every program you can get, and I'm pretty sure Rite Aid isn't one of them, but maybe they are. I don't know. But you can get Dollar General. There's something called BCP. There's Costway. It's not Costco. It's Costway. You can find them online. Most people don't know about them. It's kind of like an old person's Amazon. They sell a lot of furniture and expensive stuff that really isn't as expensive as they price it at. But it makes it's nice for people like us, because we can say, oh, look at the retail price of this. We're giving you a great deal, when a lot of it's Chinese junk, but
sure,
it still makes good money, and a lot of it's in really great condition. So Costway's great. You can get Costco pallets. They're a little harder to get a hold of. But if you know, like Bid to Benefit or B2, they pretty much they do what I do, just on a giant scale, and they almost only buy Costco. They're buying Amazon as well to fill their bin stores. But yeah, Costco's been their whole thing that kind of sent them out to where they are now.
And do you hope to get to their size someday?
Oh, I will. Yeah, I'll be bigger than them.
There you go.
Yep.
Just like that. Boom.
I keep telling my wife, I say, in 10 years, I think I'll sell for 10 million and then just invest in real estate. And she always giggles. Okay, we'll see.
10 years. Start investing now.
Yeah, really.
Because what you'll see is the prices that you thought you could buy now, you'll see in 10 years, and you go, damn, I wish I bought 10 years ago.
Yeah, really.
And then, all right, so now, you're telling me to buy a monster of randomness and ask questions. Most places will help you.
Yep.
Okay. Do you so now you go with your trailer, but you didn't break down that first pallet. You just strapped it all stacked up.
Right up. Yep. I lost a pallet on the road once, twice, I think. Yeah, twice. Yeah. One time I was right around the corner, and I just thought I'll just throw it on and drive slow. And it was already kind of Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I took a corner and it fell right off. So yeah, that was rough. Then I had to take it all and stuff it in my truck and try and tarp it down. And so yeah, if you're gonna get them, either break them down or really strap them good. I mean, you can throw a pallet on top of the merchandise and kind of strap that down, put a tarp on it. I mean, do something. But
sure.
Yeah, most of the time that's what I did when I was starting off, just one at a time, back of my truck.
So is your new place a warehouse, or do you have a different warehouse that you go unload and then you bring the stuff to your place?
Yeah, so there's a different warehouse. This is my kind of more of a storefront location. I'm releasing the address probably tomorrow on Facebook. But it's off of Ivan Rest, just north of Prairie, and it's a big office building.
Yep.
The basement, this all used to be a call center, and the call center all left, and so the landlords was just getting rid of space for cheap. So I got a really great deal on 3,000 square feet. But there is an exterior door. You can walk right in, so you can shop around. We'll have a big banner is going to be printed tomorrow with our logo and everything. So you can, you'll see it from the side of the road, and you can walk right in and shop around. But yeah, most of the storage, I try not to keep it in my trailer, mostly because this weekend, somebody busted the lock to look in it. Thankfully it was empty, but I've never had that happen before. Left it in the lot this weekend and they broke into it. So I try and keep stuff secure either in the warehouse or at home, or mostly here if I can fit it. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is the stuff that I've already gone through, stuff that it's on the shelves ready to be sold.
Sure. Yeah, no, Granville's having a lot of break-ins and things like that right now. A friend of mine owns a company.
Trailer break-ins been big.
Yeah, he's had 2 windows broken in the same business, and they walk in and steal things from his business, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's not good for me.
Right.
My wife used to be worried about that in the past.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they gonna do? Steal broken shit?
Right.
Yeah,
I
really.
know. They stole.
We got 30 TVs, none of them work.
Right. Let's say if they do, let everybody else know.
Yeah, no shit, right?
But no, I say actually, I was looking it up. But yeah, no, they do have CVS general merchandise pallets, and they're
Oh, really? Okay.
$6.25 for a pallet or $25 for a box. And I don't know. I look at general merchandise and I'm thinking like, what there is over $20 in
GM. Yeah, we call them GM pallets. So you can
Okay.
you can get Target, you can get GM. Typically it's all brand new stuff, but a lot of little stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that doesn't work great for me. So
It wouldn't work.
Make a killing.
Oh, do they? Yeah, saying that's
yeah.
I when I go on and look, I have so many friends that are doing this, and I look at if it's half off, right? I usually go, that's fine, like I'll look at it type thing. But I have a friend that just started, and he's trying to do like 30% off, and I'm like, dude, you're so overpriced on things, and I'm like, just stop. I can just do a 2-second Facebook search because again, everybody has a stupid blow up screen for some reason. Like in this area, 4 people have the damn thing, and I'm just like, this is insane. So like everybody's just getting copies of everything. And some I flip houses. And what pisses me off is like I needed 2 faucets. So I'm like looking, and I was like, all right, this person has 1. Well, then I either have to go try to find the exact same one on Facebook or online to try to match it, or a lot of the things I see is you'll get 1 blind, right? And I was like, well, I need 17 blinds, and sure, I can get a really good deal on 1 or 2, and I'm like, but they're 2 different ones. So
yeah, that's the tough part.
right. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but I like the deals that I'm getting. Now, so will they load your truck up?
This is Charlie.
Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie. That's what the company's after. Hey, I hope that you're giving a royalty. It's not just room and board, but just wait till after this, because you're gonna tell her there's a podcast in like years, and she's gonna go, I'm famous. Oh my gosh, I was on YouTube.
At that point, it's going to be, what's a podcast?
Yeah, really.
Right, no shit.
Right. Well, no, I mean, I don't know. Emerson's 7, so you said she's how old? 3, 2, terrible 2s?
2.
1.5. So, but
okay,
she's an early bloomer with the terrible 2s.
Yeah. No, mine didn't start till 3, which was
nice.
great.
I've always learned it is
all of that.
more with my kids. It was the terrible 3s.
The terrible 3s. Oh man.
Yes.
It was.
I missed all that shit. I got her when she was 5.
Yeah.
So
It was the easiest thing in the world. No diapers, no nothing.
Right, but I'll say is I build my business for myself and my family the same as you're doing for yours. The same as right. We all have we find a need and we fix it, right? Now, how much time do you think you put into your business when you first started? Just on one, like how much time would I take to do 1 pallet?
You know, people really underestimate how much work it really is to get through a pallet. If I got a monster, when I was just doing it on my own, I just do it in my free time, at night, or I was working 2 part-time jobs. So I kind of had some free time during the day too. Um, I would say one pallet, it could take me a full week with weekend just to get through the one pallet. But I was also starting out. So I'm learning Facebook, I'm learning how to list stuff, how to be quick, how to take the right pictures. And as you list, people are messaging you and they're trying to set up pickup times. And so with all that put together, you could have potentially 80 items on one pallet, and you got to look through each individual box, make sure each thing works. And if you cut corners, I mean, you will not survive. There's so many people that you'll see pop up that, you can tell they're pallet buyers because they're selling the same stuff as you, or they have the same wording as you. But they've only got like 1 or 2 stars on their marketplace because every other purchase is something broken because they don't want to look through it. So you got to test everything. You got to make sure all the pieces are there for the furniture. Like, it just takes forever, which is why I offer a 100% guarantee. If I sell you like a bar
inflatable,
yeah, well, I'll tell you now, I did blow that up, and it worked great. I almost kept it. I was really excited about it. But
Yeah.
you're right, they're everywhere.
You could buy it back for let's say $60.
Seriously, I'll just go grab it off the shelf. So,
yeah, I was gonna say he's got one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I offer that guarantee because reviews are everything. I mean, if you start off in marketplace with every other customer is pissed off and they're writing you 1-star reviews, you lose. I mean, you just lose.
Yep.
So it took a long time for me to get to the point where I was comfortable saying I'm going to do the 100% guarantee. But honestly, like, if I sell something broken to somebody, like, I would rather it go in the trash than me keep broken stuff money. But a lot of these people, they keep the money and they say, nope, everything's as is. You cannot sell as is in this business because you're the one that should be looking at it.
Well, that's I did the bin store, the one out in Plainfield, and dude, there's professionals that do this shit. I want you guys to know this, right? Like, and one thing I respect about them is like they have like a test it station, right? I'm sitting here going, I don't want to buy a brown box, and my buddy's like, how dumb are you? Open the damn box up, figure out what's inside of it. And I was like, you can do that? And he's like, yes. So here I am, like, tearing through, and he's like, nope, there's plugs over there, you can test that, you can do that. And my first time, of course, I bought a 24 pack of light bulbs, a smoke detector, shipper, and then I ended up buying a Christmas present for somebody. It was all sealed and taped, and he's like, oh, you got to open that, make sure everything's in there. And I was like, there's a semi and there's some dinosaurs, I'm pretty sure that's everything. I was like, it looks great. And but I looked it up on Facebook, or I looked it up on Amazon, and it was like the hottest selling thing because I don't look for the hottest selling thing for kids, but yeah, I mean, I saved $35 or $30 or something like that. And of course my wife wanted to still go spend more, and I was like, that's a $30 value. It's like,
I've got a general, just for like, especially like with like your auction stuff, if you've got like a customer at this point, especially if they're coming to your like warehouse or whatever to pick it up, you probably know who your good repeat customers are.
Yeah.
If they went to you and said, hey, in the next 6 months, I'm looking kind of for this, like, if you ever, would you be one would be like, oh yeah, if I ever see,
Milwaukee Tools,
or a really nice Weber smoker and one of like these pallets, I'll hit you before I pop it into my auction.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to do that when you start off anyway, just because getting started is it's so hard to get the wording right on your listings. It's so hard to get the pictures right, to do it where people are going to trust your listing. When you start building regular customers that are like, hey, look for light bulbs for me, or I'll buy all of your adult diapers, or can you find a grill for me? Like, that's an easy sale. Now, at my point in business, it's kind of hard to do that because I have a lot of regular customers that reach out to me and they'll say, hey, can you look out for this? Typically I'll say, I'll try, but for me to remember,
I'd say, because you're not going there like looking for anything specific, like if somebody was doing a lot of like garage selling or something like that to pick up something. It would just be like, if you happen to notice that, think of me before you, put it on your, Facebook Marketplace or your auction site or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to do that now because I've got so many regulars that it's hard to remember who wants what, and I could write it all down, I suppose, but I've got 3 other sets of hands, that go through my stuff. Every once in a while, my mom will be like, "Hey, I saw you've got this in the auction. What color is it?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. I didn't even know I had that." That kind of thing. So,
I do that shit with my mom all the time. I do, I guess. You're right.
it's tough. It's tough. So, and a lot of the stuff, like, people will offer me way lowball on some of this stuff that's seasonal, and I just say, you know what? It's priced to sell. If you want it for the price, go for it. I don't care if it sits for another 2 months, it'll sell. And people usually understand, okay, this guy means business. He's not just trying to,
I know, and
Now, how much of the stuff do you keep? Yeah, exactly.
Man, as far as my wife knows,
he just looked around. He's like, "Where is she?"
Yeah, seriously. No, we probably kept more than we should have at the start, which is another thing that really kills these people that start off, is they don't make
I'm that guy
because they break even because they're keeping all the good stuff, So I try not to keep stuff I'm at the point where when I look at something, I go, that could be $400 in my pocket, or I can use that bow fishing kit and go catch a steelhead and then maybe not use it ever again,
Right.
So I just have to mentally think, it's for my family. I got to make the money. I can use that money to buy other stuff I want. And you kind of get used to just saying no to everything. Some stuff is exciting. Like, my wife picked out some pillows today. We had some Target stuff come in, and she goes, "Ooh, pillows." And I'm like, "Oh, take them. They're not going to sell anyway." So
you should have told her you could take them.
Considering like the idea of like, giving Charlie younger brother or sister, you might start,
right,
when your wife is pregnant, start being like, okay, well, this came in and this would really help us.
Yep. A lot of baby toys we've kept. Definitely baby stuff.
Yeah.
Both our bassinets, we got a really nice bassinet and then just an okay one. Kept them both. We got the stroller, we got our car seat. I mean, so much baby stuff that in the long run, it was saving us money, right? It's like getting a profit because I don't have to pay the retail price for that stuff. So, and like toilet paper and paper towel, and we'll keep all that, but you can tell yourself, we're not, we're saving money by doing this either way. And
not that you'd ever see, youth diapers in a pallet, but if you ever would, I'm sure you set aside those too.
Right. Yeah.
No, and that's that's what I find is a lot of people keep so much of the stuff. Oh, I'll talk to people. Oh yeah, we got this and we kept this and we did this. And I was like, what did you sell? Right? Like,
really.
We didn't need the clothespins. Great. So you paid $600 for stuff that you weren't shopping for in the first place,
right.
But you seen it and you realized you wanted it. So
yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't do this for business either. It is very appealing to see a pallet that has something you really want and know that you can buy it and pretty much get that one thing for free as long as you sell everything else. So it takes a little bit of work, but I know plenty of people that do that. They'll just buy one pallet in their lifetime, and just because they wanted that nice car seat or that nice, whatever was on the pallet to keep, a chainsaw or something. So that's another reason to go shopping around for pallets. You really don't have to do this full time, but there's definitely money to be made.
Sure. All right. So you talked about being bigger than one of the biggest liquidation people out there, bid to benefit, or
they're nothing.
Like, are you going to be a national brand? What are you thinking?
So here's my scaling. Here's my 10-year plan. With the auction, I figure, if you think of, you guys have heard of RepoCast, right?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're selling a refrigerator right now for $128. That's $4,000 refrigerator.
Oh geez, yeah.
It's outdoor. I might be purchasing it.
Yep, there you go. So
I don't need it.
These auction places like RepoCast or like Mad Cheetah, like, they pretty much have this system where this is the one spot they sell out of. RepoCast, a lot of used stuff, anybody can sell on RepoCast. And then places like Mad Cheetah, if you've ever heard of them, they're in Holland.
Yep.
Yep, they do pretty much what I'm doing, just on a much bigger scale. They buy the truckloads of Amazon and then they just auction it off. And they can just keep flipping through inventory. Well, my idea or my plan is at some point, I want to be the auction center for liquidators like myself. So anybody who's having trouble or anybody who wants to get started in this, anybody who, has furniture that's taken up space and they want to get rid of, or stuff that just hasn't sold, you can bring it to me, or even just, it'll probably be, you keep it at home, you list it on my auction, you pay a small fee, and somebody buys it and comes pick it up. The scalability for that is now I can say Charlie's Treasures Auction, or we'll call them CT Auctions. CT Auctions in Grand Rapids is all through my website. Then we have another website, CT Auctions Lansing. Anybody in Lansing who wants to do that, it's all from home. You don't have to have a warehouse. You don't have to subscribe to something like RepoCast that takes 25 freaking bucks per item that you try and sell. You can just list your item from home, pay a small fee to Charlie's Treasures, and you've got this whole database and marketplace of people that will buy your stuff, just like Facebook Marketplace, which, by the way, will not be forever. Facebook Marketplace will die someday, just as Facebook will.
I'll say just as Craigslist did, right?
Just as Craigslist did.
I remember listing my first rental in
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace.
And MySpace. It's all going to go away.
AOL.
Right. I was saying.
Prodigy.
So all of them. That's how I got my first rentals, and then I was like, how to rent it out, and all of a sudden I was like, how the hell do I rent the place out? And I was like, oh, Marketplace, which I hate Marketplace. It's just filled with bunch more shit.
Tell me about
it. Like my wife has a broke down. It's not broke. It is broke down. I took the alternator off, but it has a broken exhaust. It's the only thing that's really wrong with it, and I just refuse to sell it on Marketplace because I'm tired of meeting people.
Oh yeah.
But I had a guy, hey, I'll give you $500 for it. And I was like, shut the fuck up. It's a Honda Pilot that I can easily get $2,000.
Right.
Can you get it over here?
Over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we could.
I want $2,000 for it.
Okay, we'll get it over here and I'll deal with it for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's sell it for 22. I get 200. You get $2,000.
Yeah, so, but I've gone to so many, it's funny because I hate me. Right. I'm the biggest haggler you'll ever meet. I am the guy who will try to jip and get the biggest deal possible.
We hate you too.
But I hate dealing with the people like me because I'm like, dude, literally and sometimes I'm not fair, in a sense, the blow up TV, right? If you would have put it up for 50, would I have maybe been the guy to offer, because I don't want it or I don't need it. I want it. Right. So if it's something I want, I'll be like, yeah, I'll give you $40 for it, kind of a thing. And if it doesn't take, then I re-question myself, do I actually want it, right? If it takes, then I feel happy about myself. Where, I get some people where, again, if I list the car for $2,500 or whatever, somebody would be like, hey, I'll give you $500 for it. Dude, stop. Just stop.
You know what I do when they do that to me? All right, let's do it for $2,000. I'll take $2,500 for it. Well, you went the wrong way. Okay, I'll take 28.
Right.
Yeah, really.
Say, because I'm a big fan of you never know until you ask, so you always have to ask.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also a respect.
Don't waste my time.
Right. And it's funny because I was telling you about the kid that's at 30% off, and right now he has a bunch of door handles and locks and stuff. And one of them, he wants $40, and I pay $37 at Menards for the same pack. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But
I'll pay 25.
Well, no, and the worst part is I was like, man, I should just offer him for all of them just to help him out type thing. And then I went to my mom's today and I looked down and I was like, I just went and bought locks, and I literally probably have 40 locks sitting at my mom's garage.
So you don't need any more.
No, not at all. I have 50 supply lines, right? Anywhere from 8-inch to 20 something inches. And I just bought one the other day. I'm going to be out of flooring here in a minute, so I have to go buy a bunch of flooring. But I just can't believe how much warehouse stuff I have over there that I completely just forgot about because it's so easy to just go to the store.
Yeah.
And finding a good place. You kind of mentioned
before we jump to the next. I just to comment on your. I'm the kind of guy that offers lower. A lot of people really hate that, but I think people that know what they're doing, like me, we love when people offer us, because you might as well ask. It's not going to make me mad,
Right.
Some people, yeah, it makes real mad when they're like, no, this is worth way more than that. How dare you, kind of a thing. But I think of it as there's another person that is looking at my stuff. Now I have an opportunity to say, hey, but check out my auction. You might get it cheaper here, kind of a thing. Or to say, yeah, that's been sitting for 6 months. I'd love to give it to you for cheap. I wish more people would offer me. And the best thing about Facebook's algorithm is when somebody comments on it, it kind of refreshes it in Marketplace. When somebody, same thing with somebody like orders it for shipping. So I do shipping. If somebody orders it or somebody buys it, more people will see it and I make more money. So if I've got something up that's a pretty good deal, but not an incredible deal, I'll get people that'll offer me $10 less or $20. But I can see that like 1,000 people have looked at it. So I know it's going to sell for my price. It just takes the right person. So the more people that offer, the more money I'm going to make. So that's fine by me. I'm okay with answering extra messages. That's another reason why people fail, is they think, man, it's so much work to answer the messages and to look at the messages. And I think, man, I love that part of my job, because that's more people in the area that are looking at my stuff that I can invite to my auction. So it's
I can't say it's the messages. It's the, we've messaged, you said you want it kind of a thing. And then you show up and you test drive my car. And I have to be there. I've taken time to meet you. I've done all this. And then you like, I only brought 500 cash with me. Break down payment, bud. Like, I'll hold it for 25 or 24 hours. And this is literally a non-refundable deposit. Like, go find the rest. Like, and I've done that type of crap. And it's just like, that kind of burns me out, right? Or if it's a $10 thing and you're offering me $1 for it. I mean, depending on what it is, usually I just, sure, here, sounds like you need it more than me, bud.
We're not doing it on that level. So, I mean, when somebody comes to me with that, give me a little bit of respect.
Right.
You're on his level. Right. When you're on his level, yeah, you want to throw something out there. Sure. Throw it out there. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
Right.
Sorry, I forgot where I was going.
But it's funny you say that, because I hated that too, is I wanted to be face to face with a lot of people so that I could, meet them, whatever, and sell them. But I found I was losing time because they would want to talk about my business. They see my garage and go, oh, what do you do? This is really cool. Then I spend an hour talking to them. I just lost an hour of my work day. And then I never see them again, kind of, because they go and buy pallets themselves and they don't buy from me anymore. So I started doing only porch pickups. When you came, you saw my stuff on the shelf. I just happened to be right around the corner, and there's somebody here. I better go, see if they need some help. Yeah. But I do only porch pickups, and some people don't like that because they
hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Well, and a lot of people, and it's because people like you like to say, "Can I get it for a little bit less?" Or
no. I have trust issues in the sense, like I like that I'm giving you money. You're paid, and I know I've gotten a product, because I look at it and go, well, if you can't stand in front of me and hand me the product, this thing's ripped off, type of a thing. Like,
right.
I am a very much extrovert kind of person.
Yep.
I need the social interaction. I need to shake your hand and say, we have a deal. Like, that is the first time I did a porch pickup, and it was the fucking worst thing for me in life. We go pick up a swim thing, and I didn't even know. It was like, my wife's like, it's a porch pickup. And I was like, okay. So I get there, and there's 5 cars in the driveway. The front door's open, but the screen door, whatever. I'm like, well, I'm not putting the money in this box that's right here. Like, I'm going to knock and hand the damn money to you. So I knock on the door, and I was like, hey, here to pick up this. And the lady looks at me, and she's like, it's right there. I was like, yep, here's your money. She's like, there's a box. It's called a porch pickup. And I was like, yeah, I want to make sure you got your money. I didn't just come steal your shit, and you can't come and claim that I didn't pay you, right? Like, I'm sure you're having a party, but what's 2 seconds of your life just to go, hey, thanks so much for giving this for me, right? Yeah. Like,
or sell it tomorrow. Why,
Yeah. I'm not, like, if you're home, I want to do that. But if, like, I just did it, but I also understand, like, there's times I don't mind. I took 3 days to buy $5. It was $5 for these punches. Mm-hmm. And I told the lady, I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Standale this day or whatever. And she's like, oh, I can't be, we can meet tomorrow afternoon. And I was like, that's fine. I'll come to Standale tomorrow. And then I was like, or I can Venmo you. I can do anything you want to get you the money. It's $5. You can put it on the porch or in the mailbox or something. And she was like, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I got called into work, so we're gonna have to do the next day after 5 o'clock. And I was like, I don't want to drive all the way back out. Like, granted, it's only 15 minutes, but this is a $5 fucking item, right?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I can go buy it at the store for 10. Like, you're not saving me $1 million here, you know? So
Yeah.
I get that there's times, but if you're there and you're whatever, like, I want to do that 20-second interaction just to make sure that we're both on the agreement of this is how it's done, right?
Trust issues.
Very, like,
I have the same. I'd rather do a porch pickup, but I have trust issues.
yeah. And like, I don't know, I go to New York and I negotiate over knockoff bags on a constant, but I still shake their hand at the end of the day and go, we have a deal, right? Like, you
Right.
said yes, I said yes, we agree upon this. I'm not going to come back when I open it and there's blue stains on the inside. Like,
Yeah, and I'm all about the 20-second interaction. I'm super extroverted too. I love talking to people, but it's when I was realizing when I was doing the hey, can we meet or
oh, it turned in an hour.
yeah, it would either one, it would turn into an hour, or two, they would say, would you, they'd show up and I was expecting to make $25. They'd be like, hey, will you do 10? Will you do 15?
Yeah.
And I'm a yes man. Man, I would
Yeah.
be like, okay,
Sure.
fine. Like, you're here, might as well. I don't want to waste your time, kind of a thing. So I learned if I just put it on the porch, people will pay, and they don't mess around. And there's just, there's plenty of people that will say, I don't do porch pickups. And I know why, because they're going to offer me less and I'm not going to take it. So I just found it was better for business if I did the porch pickups. Now that I'm in my space, I think people walk into a building and they'll say, oh, I guess I shouldn't offer this guy less because, this is a business. It's not just a Facebook guy on the side of the road. So.
No, I'm going to offer you less every time I get there now. But
yeah, I know.
Like,
When you walk in, I'm going to up the prices a little bit.
And that's the thing. Like, if I won it off an auction, I already committed to paying that price. Like,
right.
Even though I found it for cheaper, I don't care. Like, I'm a man of my word. The hard part with you in this, and again, I'm a very busy person, but I also find like little random spots in the day, and you're like, hey, I need 24-hour notice and tell me the time frame if you're going to pick it up. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to put it for 10 o'clock, but if I get shit-faced on Friday night, I probably won't wake up until later. And I mean, I'm hoping I'll be there someday on Saturday. Can I just tell you, between these times, like, I will eventually be there, but and it's like, then it gives me anxiety because I'm like, well, if I don't show up, worst case scenario, I just have my mom walk up like $60 and the guy will make, and that's the thing, like, the guy will make $3 off of me. I don't care, because it was like 56, 80 something or whatever. And that's the funny thing, like, because without you, I wouldn't have known what my grand total was, right? I wouldn't have known anything.
Right, yeah.
Because I'm like, you sent me a bill, like, I don't. Oh, it was in your email, and I was like, oh crap, it's in this other email, and I got to do this. And I mean, through the 20-second of interaction type thing, we both worked it out, and I was like, all right, now I know what to do for the next time, right? Like, I will eventually figure. But otherwise, like, if it's not just sent to me, hey, you owe this, pay it now. Like, I'm good luck. I'm the worst. Right. I'm the youngest, least technological person out there. I'm telling you this.
You're like a 70-year-old man.
I am like a 70-year-old man, like 100% all day. But
just remember this when you see Nick coming to your actual like warehouse area, have a little switch that flips the $5 room to a $15 room.
Yeah.
Then he'll start off.
End up being $5.
It'll be
$6 on things. You'll be like, yes.
I'll walk out still feeling like a king. Hey man,
and she'll be like, I made more than I wanted.
Yeah, right. Like, I'll show up with $20 in my pocket and still walk out with 4 items and be like, oh yeah, I got him.
There's a reason I do the pricing here,
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna get the price I want.
Right. Well, even here, they have a thing where you could add on stuff, and people like me would be like, hey, I'll give you $10 for the guitar, and he wants 20. He'd be like, no, I'll give you $10 for the guitar. Come on, let me do the guitar. Hey, you guys have 3 minutes left. I'll give you $10 for the guitar.
There are things I would haggle on out there. I wouldn't haggle.
Not guitars.
Guitars are like $18. I wouldn't haggle $8 down, but
I would.
You might get it for 15 if you asked.
Right.
Because I am willing to haggle, but hey, you do have Bud Light in the fridge that's cold, just so you know. All right.
I get my Christmas beers. We each pulled one out, and I pulled the first one out, and I was like, ooh, I'm really excited about that one. So it's a Belgian quad, just for everybody to know.
Oh, nice.
I love quads. So now, all right, so sorry, I want to go back to that. So these Amazon have returns, and you can buy like it's a black bag or something like that, and you can get them for like $5 a piece, or 5 for 20. Should we buy those things?
I think they're more for fun, not really for profit. I've seen people get like a Amazon mystery box. You can get like these $10 bags to $40, $50, $60 mystery boxes. And people like me, we can order a whole truckload of these mystery boxes and sell them individual. Most of them will meet the retail at least of that $40. But like if you're going to be a reseller, you don't want to meet retail. You want the retail price to be 4 or 5 times more than what you're paying. That's liquidation. Whereas these, it's like, oh yeah, I got a pretty good deal on all the stuff that's in here. And then every once in a while you'll pull a laptop or you'll pull an iPhone or something that's more expensive. But really, I like them just because they're fun, and I have kind of a gambling personality, which
you and me both.
That's why I'm doing pallets, because they're so fun and exciting. But yeah,
I'm gonna come work for you. When you're hiring, let me know, because I'm gonna come work for you, because I have the gambling mentality. I like the surprise aspect.
Yeah,
it's why I won't get. I want to get into the game, but I won't, because I know I'll keep so much of it. It'll be stupid shit that I won't use. It'll sit there, right? I'll get a freaking vinyl record that's on a wall, and I'll be like, "Oh, that'll look cool," and I'll never, like, I don't care who the vinyl record is, right? Like, but Jordan, awesome. I said we'd like to have you back. After you kind of growing and you're getting the stuff kind of going. But anything else before we sign off here that you want to tell us and let us know?
Well, I know you did mention the kinks in my auction system, which we're definitely working on and fixing, but definitely excited for this new space to kick off for Charlie's Treasures, and it'll be really cool, and we'll have our first million in just a couple of years. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting into buying pallets, even if it's just a side gig, it's a great way to make a little extra money. It's fun. If you have a gambling personality, you really got to tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to keep, one thing, maybe 2. But just understand, like, you can do it for fun, or you can do it and make a lot of money. And you can put yourself in a spot like me where you're taking care of your family. Your wife is full-time, at home. You have a space to call your own. You got employees. Like, I'm 25 years old, right? Like, I'm young, and I've got this business that's thriving. So you can make something awesome out of it, or you can just have fun with it. But really, pallets are a really great way to spend a little extra free time, have a couple extra Christmas presents, random stuff. We have a lot of fun with it at my house. I take all the junk at the end of the year that can't sell, and I wrap it up and give it as extra presents, so the tree looks like it's a little more full. My parents hate it, or my whole family hates it, but yeah, it's a great thing to get into, and don't be afraid. Just ask a lot of questions. People are really open. I mean, people who sell pallets want your money. So when you ask questions, they'll answer them. They probably won't answer where they got the pallets, because people are pretty touchy about that, but
sure.
They'll at least, help you find the good ones and help you get started. So ask questions, go on Facebook, do your research, just go buy a pallet, have some fun.
Sure.
The way I think about this is the way I think about every business. Is there eventually a avenue for you to consult businesses on this?
Well, what do you mean?
A consulting fee. So Nick comes to you and goes, I need all of your, knowledge. Would you offer a consulting deal to him? So he can come to you? And
a lot of times people in my position, and I'm getting there. The time is tough right now. I work 14 every day last week. Most people in my position start making classes, and they do online stuff, and they walk you through how to get started, and you can even do in-person stuff. So yeah, 100%. This is it's a tough business to really skyrocket if you don't know all the little kinks and stuff you got to work through when it comes to marketplaces and how to sell. And, you got to have sales knowledge, you got to have marketing knowledge, but really, you can get started and learn all that on your own, or you can talk to somebody like me. So yeah, there's definitely consulting in the future for us, but it'll probably be more along the lines of like a once a week class for 2 hours, so
sure.
I think that's the best way to do it.
We don't even like to the point of like having like multiple, Charlie's Treasures locations, like
right.
That's what he kind of talked about, where he's going to have online presence in all the areas with CT
like
Treasures,
warehouses, and maybe a couple, if you do find success with a true storefront style thing, and
Yeah, it'll probably, the auction is really where I want to scale. A lot of people in my shoes will start selling pallets at some point. But I mean, I think the auction for me is what I have the most fun with. I love giving people great deals. You know, some of this stuff is worth like you said, those pellet guns went for $12 and they were $200 pellet guns.
Yeah.
Like I like giving people those great deals because then they tell their friends. There's just so much scalability here. It really is infinite. You know, like Mad Cheetah, you look at them, they pretty much, I don't want to say this, but it kind of feels like they stopped scaling because they hit a point where they're like, yep, we're good with this. And they're just kind of sitting in their pocket. Well, like I don't like sitting in pockets, and I know that I can build 18 Mad Cheetahs just in the area, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, there's so much scalability with this, and there's definitely more locations in the future. You know, this is not our forever home. It's an office building. Someday we'll have our own building, maybe even just work out of the warehouse. So, oh yeah, lots to go.
Let's say I want to give a shout out to Kona Brewing, Mike again, thank you, and the Rogue. Also, I just opened a Mobcraft beer out of Milwaukee, might be Mobcraft. For the Belgian, it's actually really good. It tells me to keep chilled. Don't tell me how to drink my fucking beer. And
I think it's saying that from.
What's
no,
that?
it said keep chilled. I mean, beer is better cold. I know you.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
Not always.
Dark beers are so much better warm.
Dragon's milk, yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you. See, thank you. So this guy gets it. But hey, it was great having you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
I enjoyed both of mine, by the way.
Yeah,
even though you didn't ask.
I didn't care.
I know.
I enjoyed the popsicles and water.
Yeah.
So,
Jordan, how was that Coca-Cola?
Oh, it's great. I like to give a shout out to Coke. Man, you guys kill it. You're
thanks
doing
for the
great.
sponsor.
We're waiting for the sponsorship.
Damn right.
Coca-Cola.
Classic,
Coming in, baby.
yeah. Contact my people.
Thanks so much for joining us, Jordan. We'll get this episode will go up in a couple weeks. I'm sure Nick and I will let you know when it's up. Again, we'd love to have you back sometime. This was a lot of great information.
Yeah, give it a few months. I'll have my first million and 60 employees, and you know, you guys, I'm sure will be there unpacking boxes for me. So yeah,
sounds good to us.
I mean, I'm already retired, so
there you go.
That's what I said. Like, if I can just cut open boxes and figure out what's in it, and like then I have to set it to the side and somebody else can move it, like I'd be happier than shit. Like I love cutting.
You just want to see what's in it.
Oh, piece of candy.
If enough, we should just make an application for Mikey to work for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit, right?
Say my perk will be when that one Milwaukee tool comes in,
It's yours.
I get a dib, right? Like I'm all right
Yeah.
with this. So say, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. To Jordan's grandma down in Lansing area, please tell us how much you love this episode. I've had a lot of fun. I've learned a lot of things, and we hope to bring you another episode sometime this year.
Yeah, Twitch people, we're not going away. Stick around. But for the rest of you that are not on Twitch, this is the end of this episode. Go listen to our other episodes. We got like 120 some odd of them out there.
Saying we'll tell Jordan about our pops and pennies for the kids.
We
teach
will.
you how to invest for your kids. So stick with us for a second.
You've dialed in
To Box and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips under cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the
And
brews.
they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
brews.
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and brews.